Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like turning the page. With college sports, especially basketball, we basically practice year round. But when it's your first official day, there's just that extra buzz, that extra excitement for the girls to know that we're kicking it up a notch. And I think you saw that intensity in our gym today.
As you go year by year, and this program has made a big leap in each of your seasons so far, how more difficult does that get as the bar gets higher and higher?
Yeah, for sure. I think expectations are a good thing. You want expectations. Following up last year's a tall task. Obviously, breaking a school record in wins and losing big pieces like Destiny Marshall, Shayla Sellers, even Ryan Ott, who was a huge piece for us last year. And replacing those pieces with talent and new talent, different talent, but then now figuring out how to kind of reconstruct your team to be successful. And we've had our bumps, and we're going to continue to have our bumps. With 9 new people, you're definitely going to have some adversity, but that's what we got into coaching for. That's the fun part, is figuring things out.
What has Sydney Freeman brought so far?
There's things that Sid Freeman can do on the court that nobody else on our team can do, and that's very evident. She's still learning our systems and kind of learning exactly what we want her to do, but for the most part, we want her to be herself. And when she is playing freely out there, she's explosive. She gets from A to B as quick as anybody as I've ever seen. She can shoot it. And just when you think she might be having a bad day, she might string 3 threes together. And that's the kind of kid that she is. She can score it. She wants to pass it. She wants to distribute. And the more that she gets comfortable with our systems, I think she's going to be even more better.
And the progression of Sydney Graber through your time here, what have you noticed the most about her growth on the basketball court?
I think with Sid is just her confidence. Each year she understands more what we want from her. She understands how good of a connector she is, because she is more than anybody else on our team. She connects with every single player. And as a fifth year, as somebody that's been in our program who understands our culture and our systems, she's taken that upon herself to really make sure she's pulling these freshmen along, these new transfers along. She's just a joy to be around every single day. Such a good kid. When we talked to her last year, you're graduating. Do you want to be done? Do you want to keep playing? She's had some injuries. There was no question for her. Like, I love being around the team. I love being a part of this program. I'm 100% coming back, and we were excited to hear that.
Is that attitude infectious, you think?
Oh, absolutely. She is probably the most infectious person on our team. She's so bubbly, so kind, so caring. If she's having a bad day, you know it, because she is, so enthusiastic and positive most days. So on the rare occasion she does have a bad day, everyone picks her up because she deserves it.
Aside from any sort of technicals or whatever, what did you get out of the Italy trip as a team? How much did that help the program?
I mean, it was even more impactful than I think I could have imagined. Me having family there, being there millions of times, I wasn't sure how it would go in a group setting like this, and the girls truly appreciated it, enjoyed it, loved it, wanted to go back as soon as we got home. But they also, I think, took advantage of that time together to build their bonds, to get to know each other better. With 9 new people, you got to work at those relationships. They don't happen overnight, and I think they really took that trip as an opportunity to do that. And just to hear them talk about it, the impact that it's had on them and our program is really cool. I kind of get goosebumps thinking about it. It was a really good experience.
Anyone in the group besides you speak Italian?
We had a tour guide that was from there that spoke Italian, and then myself. That was it. Yeah.
As you've gone through the off season, what have you learned about this team and what it can be when everything is clicking?
Yeah, I think a couple of the girls touched on it. We're way more athletic than we've ever been. We have a couple of athletes on this team. I mean, Jordan Reed from Indiana Wesleyan literally tried to dunk in a game last year. Tia Morgan is probably one of the best defenders we're going to have in the conference with her athletic ability. Sid Freeman, her frame is not big, but she's quick, she's fast. And then Lauren Ross is a big, strong kid. So you add those 4 players. Our freshmen are very athletic for freshmen. So when you look at this team and you try to get to know them over the course of a summer and fall, the one thing that sticks out over and over is how athletic we are. We've had some season ticket holders pop in and peek in, and they're like, oh, you guys have so much talent, which is great, and we love that, but it's going to take some time to put that talent together. But I think the thing that sticks out the most, I mean, I didn't even mention Hillary. She's got a 31-inch vertical. I mean, she's the strongest kid on our team by far, and she's just a sophomore. So athletically, we've taken huge steps forward.
as you get from now until the season and then into the season, what are the steps you want to see this team take to get where it needs to go with so many new pieces?
Yeah, I think from the standpoint of like last year, we had moved on into some pretty strategic things by this point in the year, but that was because we returned so many players that were going to play. And so I think right now we've got to grow in our systems. We've got to get the basics down so we can continue to take steps forward. You saw them huddle up and kind of work on some things on their own after practice, and that's because those returners know we're a little bit behind from that regard, and they're trying to pull these newcomers along. And honestly, that's really cool to see. I think everyone's on the same train. We all want to win, and really don't matter how that, how we accomplish that, but to see the leaders step up and pull those newcomers aside to work on some things today was really cool.
Just for your team, have you adjusted to being one of the favorites in the conference rather than trying to get there at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we're one of the favorites with, the usual suspects up there returning everyone, but I think the expectation and kind of the standard in our program is that we're going to be there every year, and I think the kids have embraced that. To answer your question, I think we're thinking about ways we can knock those teams off and we can beat them. That's something we haven't done yet. We want to win championships. We had an amazing year last year and accomplished so many things, but at the end of the day, our ultimate goals we haven't gotten yet. So there's a lot to be hungry for still.
Could you talk about how the team is preparing for those first couple of games of the year, especially that road opener against Purdue?
Yeah, we've got a long way to go to be prepared for a Big Ten matchup at that, but really any Division I opponent. And some of the things that we're trying to do to get prepared is really just pull these newcomers along and get on the same page so we can continue to implement the things we need to implement for a game day, which is special situations, baseline out of bounds, maybe some presses, maybe a zone D. Right now we're still on our basics of our basic man and our basic man D, which is our bread and butter, but at some point we've got to take those steps to get prepared for game day, and got a long way to go to get there.
Could you also talk, just break down the overall goals of this team, especially building on a great season last year?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we did a lot of really cool things last year. I think we're still probably a little bit bitter about how that last game ended up. A couple layups fall and could have been a whole different story, but the ultimate goal is to win a championship and get to the NCAA tournament. And whether we did that last year, whether we've done it 5 times, that's still going to be our goal every single year. And as of right now, we haven't done that yet. So, like I said, our kids are hungry to achieve that. They know it's a tall task with the Horizon League, the competitiveness. We've got a lot of new coaches in the league right now. We've got the portal. You really don't know how some teams are going to be. So, our job is to get better every day, and that's what we've been focusing on.
That little baseline mid-range jumper that you had during that drill was looking pretty solid. You practiced that a lot?
Somebody asked me in an interview at the Horizon League Media Day, if we put 5 racks out, where would I finish in a 3-point competition against my team? And I would have said, a year ago, 100%, I'm winning it. But I've had a rough summer. I've been out of the gym. I'm out of shape. I'm still putting myself in top 2, though.
You think you could beat Amelia?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
not my top. No, yeah, 100%. In a drill like that, it would be more of a Shayla, a Lauren Ross, Ryan Ott, if she was still here. Those set shooters, those are the ones you got to worry. Millie's more of a scorer. You put her in a set drill like that, she's going to do well, but she's not going to win every time.
Okay.